This is one of the most important things or areas that every business executive should be good at, because for you to remain in business, you need to always master the art of always accessing new markets. And that's why we started by looking at online business, the various 7 ways that you can use and leverage and enter new markets um, intentionally or unintentionally. That's what I love about the internet. You can use it intentionally and see results, and you can use it unintentionally and see results. Like me personally, I've never done a paid ad in my life, but I've strategically positioned myself in the right place on the internet that people still find us and pay for our services without us doing intentional marketing on the internet. And when you the one thing about the internet is that when you post it is there, you are not feeding it, right? So it's just to know the basic strategies. And I've shared with you guys very basic strategies that works, that even bigger companies. There was a time that uh, uh, um, um, the social media marketing manager of Nextel Cameroon came to my office, and we are talking. And the things that she was talking about are very, very more basic, that they didn't even know, that I was surprised they don't even know. But these are people that see results in whatever they do. Good. So let us look at accessing the emerging business market. Some fundamentals. What is an emerging market? Many a times when the word emerging market comes, people always think of how do I say? Think of foreign countries, right? Emerging market is a foreign country, all of that. Yes, it can be a foreign country, but it's beyond that. An emerging market can be a community, it can be a nation, it can be a region, it can be a group of people, it can be a continent. And that is experiencing growth in terms of population or particular activities. For example, let us assume that let me see, let's say Honorine, for example, with her accounting services, and she noticed that there are landlords in Cameroon who have many houses, actually don't know how to track their rents and whatsoever taxes to pay, income tax and land tax and all of that. Now, and they have not been doing that for the last 30, 40 years. And she noticed that people have started paying attention to that. Landlords have started looking at how they can properly calculate the accounting statements and whatsoever as landlords. That could be an emerging market, because normally accounting service firms focus on small and medium-sized businesses, large companies, and all of that. And they keep this market. So this market can be an emerging market for her, you see. Or maybe an emerging market can be like you live here and there's something that you do here in Douala, and you notice that there's a need for that thing in your village. For example, solar panels. Solar panels have emerging markets in several rural areas. You see, so an emerging market can be a small community, a large city, a large continent, a large country, whatever, as long as you have noticed that there is growth. That area is growing as far as requiring the needs of your business are concerned. So types of emerging markets can be national emerging markets, like within Cameroon, that's an emerging market, or international emerging markets where you go to other countries and other regions. Good. Now, elements that validate an emerging market. Follow this carefully. If you pick this, I'll be very, very happy. What are the elements that, as an executive, should be looking at? What validates an emerging market? Number one, growth and investment potential. That is, you are seeing that, you know what, this market is going to continuously grow for the next 10, 5, 15 years. And you are noticing that other people, other companies, even the government itself, or the community government, the local government, is trying to invest in that area through roads or building infrastructure, schools, healthcare, and all of that. That can validate an emerging market. Number two, high rate of economic activity. Yes, people are coming to open businesses. There's a lot of exchange of value in that particular area than it used to be. It's just rising. That is an emerging market for you. That's an element to look at. Increase in income per capita and consequently GDP. Yes, you'll notice that, you know what, people in this area are able to start making money. They're able to do a job and get paid. They started having jobs, employment, and all of that. That's why we look at when a large company goes to a new area and recruits, let's say, 500 to 1,000, 5,000 people, automatically that place becomes an emerging market. Why? Because people have come in that area where they have high purchasing power, which will cause the exchange of money, goods, and services, and so on, which consequently affects the GDP of that area and the country. Good. Increased development in core infrastructure like roads, internet, education, healthcare. That's a sign for you. Start seeing that the government is investing in this area. That's an element to validate an emerging market. The vibrancy of the youthful population. The vibrancy of the youthful population is a sign. The way young people are active in that area. And this is one of the biggest things that has established Africa as an emerging market in the last few years. And they are projecting that for the next till 2050, Africa will all continuously be an emerging market because we have the highest youthful population in the world, and we are very vibrant in terms of activity, innovation, education, and whatever that you can think of. And that's why we look at world powers and global economies or global companies are coming to Africa to open their African headquarters, from Twitter to Google to Microsoft to Uber. Large companies are coming to Africa to take advantage of this. Good. So when you have validated the elements that guarantees an emerging market, one of the things to look at is what is that practical framework that you can use to access an emerging market? Number one, that you as an executive need to look at is you need to access the market history, insight, and foresight. Follow this carefully. The market history is, where is this market coming from? What has this market been like? The market insight is what is presently happening in this market at the moment. Presently, what is happening in this market at the moment? Let's say that somebody wants to enter into solar panel business right now in your village. To you, that's an emerging market. You now notice that, okay, in my village, the history states that they used to use bush lamps, they use candles, and they use fire to light the house during the night. Now, market insights, the present condition is that they use torches on their phones. They still use candle. They still use bush lamps once in a while. What else? Other things that they may use. Now, the market foresight, you're looking at, okay, how long will it take before a new comes to this village? That's you asking your question to have a foresight of the market. You are like, okay, if I bring solar panels to sell in this village, will they buy? Will they, according to their present conditions, the present market insight I've discovered, will they buy if I bring the solar panels? If yes, why would they buy it? And if they buy it, how long will they use before a new comes? And even if a new comes, a new is always epileptic. They give the light, they take the light. So will they continue to use my solar panel and continue buying from me? You get the point? That's how you are able to access an emerging market by looking at the history, the insight, and the foresight. Number two, intentionally change location. Intentionally change location. Yes, you can make up your mind to intentionally just change location. You know what? I know people who have left America to Africa to relocate to Rwanda, relocate to Nigeria, relocate to Kenya, relocate to South Africa, because they just want to enter a new emerging market. Like you can say, you know what? Let me just relocate from Bamenda and come to Douala. I'm just relocating. Let me just relocate. I've been in Bamenda for years. Let me relocate to Douala and see how Douala is. Try business in Douala. Let me move to Yaoundé. Let me move to Buea. Let me move this. You intentionally relocate to a new area based on the information you have about that area, and you make up your mind that you are going to build in this particular area. That could be another way. And companies have done that, and they're doing so well. Number three is leverage professional networks and collaborate. This is one of the best ways that you can use to actually access emerging markets. Let's assume that, no, let me use a practical example. I'm privileged in part of incredible professional networks. For example, as a Mandela Fellow, I am in a network of all the Mandela Fellows across Africa. That is people that have been sponsored by the US government to go to the US to study, do practical, and come back to Africa and do the work that they do. And there are big guys from all of these African countries to the US. And we have an app, we have a platform that you can go on this platform. You want to go to any African country. Like there was something that I wanted to do in the Zambian government a few weeks back. And one of the Mandela Fellows is the executive director of the foundation of the first lady of that country. I just got to him and he got me what I wanted. You see, that's a very easy way to access new market. That's why as a professional, don't shy away from professional associations. They will bless you, trust me. They will bless you highly. Like Obama Foundation Fellows, Tony Lumelu Fellows, JCI, ISEC, Yali Network, all of these brand networks, you need to find them and join them. Like if you're an accountant, join the Accounting Association, join the Chartered Institute of Accountants, join Marketing of Accountants, of Marketing Institute of Professionals, join any association that links to what you do, join Consultants Association, join Public Speaker Association in various countries. Some are paid. You can invest and pay and do that. It's easy for you to ask questions then we want to go to a new market. It's easy for you to tell them, let them advise you. What is the situation in your country right now? What do you recommend I do and not do? And it's going to lead to collaboration. So stop shying away. Like us now in this Mini-MBA program, this is a network. So when the program is done, if you leave and you leave the group, whatever, you disconnect, that is your problem, right? You are living a network that can benefit you someday. You can ask for advice. You can ask for recommendation. You can ask for support. You can ask for technical career. Whatever you can look at, it can greatly help you. And someday, one of us may relocate and live in France and live in Canada and live in the US. And you want to go expand to that country, you're able to reach out to this person, ask for advice, recommendations, and you can do that. Next is leverage franchising and network marketing models. Yes, this is a very good way to actually expand to other markets. Like if you look at popular brands like KFC, look at McDonald's. These are global companies. You look at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is an Atlanta-based company, but they're almost in all countries in the world. They have leveraged franchising. You partner, you are doing a percentage that you give them every month, every year, to sell their services or their products. Network marketing is one of the best models to actually penetrate new markets. Look at the various network marketing companies in Cameroon. Majority of them, none of their founders have ever stepped foot in Cameroon. Majority of them. But they are making millions of Cameroon every day and every week. That is accessing markets. You see somebody who sit in Malaysia, sit in Dubai and Philippines, and talk to you on Facebook here in Cameroon. You accept and join the company, and boom, that's how you start representing the company in Cameroon, and that's how they have penetrated the market. So network marketing is not a company. Network marketing is a business strategy. Many Cameroonians consider the word network marketing as if it's a company. No. Network marketing is a business strategy that any company can use and access new markets. Any company can use and do that. Banking institutions, telecommunications, money transfer, hairdressers, barbering salons, transport agencies. Actually, there's a consulting session I'm about to start with a transport agency in Cameroon. We want to build a network marketing model for them to use to promote their transport business in Cameroon. It's a marketing strategy. Number 5, track economic policies and think long-term. Track economic policies and think long-term. Very important. As an executive, we need to track the economic policies of Cameroon. What are the latest economic policies of Cameroon? We need to know them. You want to expand to Nigeria. What are the latest economic policies signed by the Senate of Nigeria, signed by the President of Nigeria? What are the latest economic policies signed by United Arab Emirates that is governing Dubai, governing Rwanda, governing South Africa, governing Kenya. You need to pay attention to that because you cannot, if you want to expand into a market, you need to know the economic policies that govern that market. And when you know those policies, you need to think long term. How do you win within these policies? How do you take advantage of these policies? How do you shine in the midst of these policies? Very important. Number six, do not assume, use data available. Do not assume, use data available or find it. This is very important. Never assume that you know a market. Never assume that you understand what to do and not to do. Always, as I've said it, I think I've said in this class, grammar doesn't build a business. It is numbers. It is data that build a business. If you want to penetrate a market, it is your responsibility to make sure that you have the right data. If you want to go to Rwanda today, what is the data that you have that proves that there is a market what you want to do? How do you collect that data? You read online blogs about that market. You read online magazines, business magazines and newspapers about that market. You go to the website of the Institute of Statistics and you read about that market. You go to websites like the World Bank and IMF. These are institutions that have economic data of all countries in the world. Go to their website and read. Go to the African Development Bank website and get data. Use data, don't assume. If you don't find the data, if you cannot find it, pay somebody to find. You know, there are companies that when they come to Cameroon, they find people like us who know the market. They pay us and get our point of view. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Where can I find this information? What can I do about this? Because no, you don't build a good business on assumption. You don't penetrate a market on assumption. If you want to go to your village, now there are businesses who have done in villages. There was a time I will go and interview the pastor in that village. I'll interview the headmaster. I'll interview the lamedo of that village. I'll interview the chief. See, there are some people in a village that if you interview a pastor, the headmaster, and teachers, you interview like the Muslim leader, the Catholic priest, you interview these women that lead the largest women groups in those villages, you get all the truth and the lies of that village. Even the highest witch in that village, they will tell you. So you need to be very creative at how you find data as a professional. Don't scale, don't penetrate into a market blind. It's not good for your business. Don't penetrate a market blind or without the right data. Okay, next point, master key operations. That is distribution, how to move money in that market, and economic policies. We are speaking about economic policies. It's coming again because it's important, but these two are very important. Distribution and how to move money in that market. Never go into a market when you don't have an established strategy on how you are going to distribute products in that market. Then you're only going to waste money and travel and achieve nothing totally. Have a way. Like somebody is coming to Cameroon, they need to know that, you know what, for me to move my products in Cameroon very well, I will need to use Okada men. I will need to use night buses. I will need to use clandos. I will need to use taxi men. I will need to use this and that and that and that. They need to know that we don't have good train networks. They need to know that we don't have good local flights. They need to know that we don't have our houses are not numbered in a way that a delivery agent can come and deliver. And that is data that you get when you're looking for the data. But before you expand and establish in the market, whether locally or internationally, have a clear distribution model. The second part is how will you move money? Let's say, for example, you want to do, I'm in Douala, I want to do business in Kumbo. I need to know how will I move money from Kumbo? When they sell the things I send to Kumbo, how will I move money from Kumbo? Okay, mobile money, I write it down. Express money, I write it down. Bank deposit, I write it down. They can send it through somebody. I write it down. Whatever. I just need to have a proven way that works, that I can move money. If I'm going to another country, I need to know, how do I move money from this country to my country? Can bank deposit work? Good. Can Western Union, MoneyGram, World Remit, Bitcoin wallet, all of this, which one can work? Before you penetrate a market, you need to make sure that you find cost-effective ways to build successful distribution processes, and most importantly, have easy payment gateways that can enable you to move money from that country or from that emerging market to your headquarters or wherever that you want to move that money. Number 9, leverage on technology. We spoke about this already. Online technology, marketing technology, digital technology, leverage on it. Leverage on virtual technology like Zoom, whereby you can be in Cameroon and you are talking with your team in Rwanda or Kenya, and you're training them and they're giving you feedback about the market. That's leveraging on technology. Instead of traveling 8 hours to Kenya, in 30 minutes you have a one-on-one with your team through Zoom or Skype or whatever, and you get the information. What is that technological platform or technological tool available to you that you can leverage on and be able to do the things you need to do as far as accessing a market is concerned and succeeding in that market? Questions? Any questions?